morning, friends. I am Patty Elhoff, the author of Upcycle with Decoupage, and today I'd like to show you how we are going to make this pretty Christmas plaque. And before I get started, when my husband came home and said, okay, what was the project today? And I showed this to him, he said, who's Joey? So I was trying to go for the word joy. And I will show you how to do this. And joy was the shortest Christmas word I could come up with because I didn't want to get too carried away with this part of the process. So with all of that said, here's how we can start this project. Now we're going to use borax and 3 cups of water. And this pot is something that I use strictly for crafts. So you're supposed to put 9 tablespoons of borax into the water. Now you can see how I'm being really sloppy purposely with this because I found that the more borax you use, the better. You don't want to skimp on this. And what you do is you put it in the water, and I put it over, I have an electric oven, but I put it over the stovetop, and I was going to boil it while I stirred it, but I noticed that on the way to boiling, all of the borax had dissolved. So that's the idea. You want the borax to completely dissolve. And it is 9 tablespoons to 3 cups of water. And you'll know that's dissolved once the water's completely clear. I then printed out the word joy from my computer to make sure it fit over the center of this plaque. And I tried to find a font that was not too complicated because what I then did was I took the pipe cleaners and fit them around this word so that I could spell the word joy, or Joey apparently, out with the pipe cleaners. So it's really not complicated to just take the pipe cleaners and fit them around the letters. And I used a pen to help me curve some of these. And you don't need to make it exact, but it is a bit nicer to just follow a pattern. And you will need the scissors here because once I finished one part of the letter, I took the scissors, I clipped the top like right about here, and then you'll see it in the next frame. It's going to go by a little quickly though, so you don't have to sit here and watch me make letters. And I just twisted the tops together. And I'm just going to finish making the rest of this now. Before you pour the water into your jars, you want to make sure that your jar is tall enough and wide enough so that the pipe cleaner does not hit the bottom or the sides. Because wherever this touches, the borax turns into these beautiful crystals. And these are really flexible, so you can shorten them if you need to. But the borax turns into crystals, and these can actually become attached to wherever they touch inside your jar. So you want to make sure before you pour the borax water into the jars that you have enough room for your letters. And by the way, you can use pens, popsicle sticks, whatever you have to loop these pipe cleaners around the top and keep them sitting in the top of the water. You can also add food coloring. I wanted to age these a little bit, so I added some instant coffee inside of there. I just wanted them a little bit aged. And now I'm just going to let them sit in there. They say ideally you should let them sit overnight. You can see how it's not touching the bottom or the sides here though. They do start to crystallize within a couple of hours. But overnight really gives the best results. So you would want to do this part of the project the day before. So here's how these look the following day. Do you see how crystallized these are? And people make ornaments out of these. They also use, I don't know if I mentioned, they use food coloring. And one woman just used the pipe cleaners that were metallic. So you can already buy them colored. You can add food coloring. You can add coffee like I did. And apparently they last forever. And I'm now just going to put these aside to dry. You can rinse these jars out with very hot water and maybe use a fork or a knife in there. This will all come right out. And now we're going to go over to the plaque. By the way, all of this is available on my website, which goes through Amazon. So if you've got Amazon Prime, you can also get all of the same benefits. And what I'm doing is decoupaging the wrapping paper over the surface, and I just cut out a piece large enough to go a little bit over the sides, applied my decoupage glue, then applied the wrapping paper. I did wet this wrapping paper, and that does make it much more pliable. And if you find, like I did, that there's a little piece of lint or a hair or something that's underneath this paper, it's much easier to pull it right up and remove that. And I'm making sure I get these ends down. I had a couple of pieces of lint in there. And I'm making sure to get these ends down. You can use a brayer, but as with all decoupage, the ends are crucial so that no water gets under there, moisture, air, anything like that. You want those ends to be really secure, as well as the rest of the piece. So I went around the whole piece and made sure that the paper was firmly decoupaged to the surface. I then took my trusty nail file and just went around all of the edges. And once I was done with that, wipe away any dust and then just coat it with a layer of the decoupage glue and put this aside to dry. Now, once this has dried, I'm going to take these markers by Faber or Faber-Castell, and I'm going around the edges. These particular markers allow you to rub the color in. You have a couple of seconds to do this, and then it dries permanently. So you draw a nice hard line, and then you rub it, and that makes it just a little bit of a shading, a shadowing effect. Now, I know you may have questions about some of these products. Please go to the link below. It will take you to my website, and you can read up on those products. The website has links to all of these products. My site, I know I've mentioned it, goes through Amazon, and if you do not have Amazon Prime, I still try to find you free shipping. So what I'm doing is I'm going around this whole surface, and I'm just going to shadow these edges, and this dries right away. So once it dries, I am then going to hot glue my crystallized pipe cleaners over the surface here. And by the way, when you're on my site, you can buy anything you need through Amazon. You can do all of your Christmas shopping there. You don't just need to buy supplies for these projects. You're still able to get your Amazon Prime benefits. You can get everything you want through my site while you're over there. So I'm going to put these on, and then the next thing I'm going to do, this dries right away, is I'm going to spray a top coat. And the top coat that I'm using is called Triple Thick. And I'm spraying it over the surface. Now, I already sprayed it on here because I had to take it outside. It's an extremely high gloss. But while this is wet, I'm going to add some mica over the surface of this. And this is the Triple Thick. And this is the mica. Now, I'll sell this on my website. This is the mother of pearl color. And it is really jammed into this container, so I'm going to pull some out. I'm going to sprinkle it all over the surface of this and then put it aside to dry. And now that the project has dried, here's how it looks. I'm just showing it to you in a couple of different lights. And because it's already got this little piece of string on the back, I'm able to hang it up. And you can do this with all different types or colors or schemes of Christmas wrapping paper. You could use any wrapping paper, really. And I hope you guys liked my project this week. I know you hear this all the time, but to YouTubers, subscriptions are everything. So please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I also have a Facebook page called Upcycle with Decoupage. If you go over and like and follow the page, you'll be notified every week when I put a new video out. And in the meantime, any questions or comments you have, I am quite open to helping you out. I can't get back to you right away. I normally, it's taking 3 or 4 days to get back in touch with you, but I do what I can to get back in touch with you as soon as I can so that I am able to help you out. And I will see you guys next week with another video. Thanks again, guys. Bye-bye.